Hey you guys, welcome back. If you guys are new, my name is Lauren and I'm a nurse that's here for all your science-backed skincare reviews. And today's going to be a good one because we're going to talk about affordable products. We're going to be comparing high-end versus low-end, and I'm going to be duping these more affordable options with the higher-end products. This video was actually inspired by that facial oil video I just did. I came out of that whole testing experience with so many new affordable options, and it just inspired me to do this dupe video. I don't think I've ever done a skincare dupe video, and I was looking at my collection. I'm like, oh my god, there's so many products to talk about. So I think this will be maybe like a 3-part series. I have a lot more to share. Hyaluronic acids, moisturizers, BHA treatments, lactic acid treatments. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. We'll talk about ingredients and also the application. And in all these comparisons, I actually think the dupe performs better than the high end, but I'm really excited about all my finds here. I hope you guys are too. So we'll just go ahead and get right into it. All right, we're gonna start with what I think is the best dupe find first. The Inkey-List's Hyaluronic Acid Serum performs almost exactly the same, if not better, than Glow Recipe's Hyaluronic Acid Serum. When you look at the ingredient list, the first 4 ingredients are pretty much identical. You have water, propanediol, glycerins, you have a glycol, and then looking at the rest of the ingredient list, Glow Recipe has a lot more fruit extracts in here. This is known for all these plum extracts that may have more antioxidant components to them. And then Glow Recipes has 3 hyaluronic acid forms and the Inkey-List only has 2. But the cool thing about Inkey-List, the ingredient list is very short and sweet. It's to the point. It has your 2 types of hyaluronic acid, and then it also contains a matrixyl 3000 peptide complex. Matrixyl 3000 is probably the #1 studied peptide complex. It's known for its anti-wrinkle fighting capabilities. So that was great to see in an $8 serum. So you're getting that peptide component to this. In Glow Recipes, you do have an additional peptide, but it's the spider peptide. I've never actually heard of it. All these different peptides are patented, so maybe it's just a brand new one that I've never heard of. So you get that peptide component, but the Inkey-List peptide is more studied, more backed by data. So I love seeing that. And when talking about the application, these pretty much feel and look exactly the same. They have this thicker serum consistency. They go on pretty silky. Once they dry down though, Glow Recipes definitely has more of a sticky, tackier feel. But the Inkey-List actually dries down to this nice velvety feel on the skin, and it does give your skin this almost tight feeling. It's almost like you feel it working. Now when talking about the packaging, I mean, could you not stare at this all day? I think this package is so gorgeous. I love just keeping it on my little skincare shelfie in my bathroom. It looks pretty. It has a pump, which the Inkey-List's packaging isn't the best. It has this flip cap. It's not the most pleasing to use. But if you're talking about performance, the Inkey-List definitely outweighs the Glow Recipe for me. So in this situation, the dupe is definitely better than the high end. The Youth to the People Adaptogen Soothe and Hydrate Activated Mist is pretty much the exact same feel as the Versed Baby Cheeks All-in-One Hydrating Milk. Obviously, the application is a lot different. This comes in a spray bottle. This is more, promoted as a facial mist, and the Baby Cheeks is actually promoted as more of an essence. I know a lot of people actually talk about using it as a makeup remover too, which I really enjoy using it that way as well, but they both feel the exact same on the skin. So I wanted to take a look at the ingredient list. The main components are the same. They both contain water, the propanediol, don't mind my Philadelphia water accent. The propanediol is in there as an emollient. It's a moisturizing agent. Now the Youth to the People does have the reishi mushroom, and reishi is great for hydrating the skin. It acts as a humectant, and the Youth to the People also has shea butter in here, which is interesting to see in a facial oil. So this I do find maybe a little bit more moisturizing, but they feel exactly the same on the skin, and I get the same results. And I like that the Versed actually comes in this nice pump package. If you're using it as an essence, you could just pump a little out the top and just put it on your hands and obviously pat it into the skin, and it feels just as silky as the Youth to the People. Like I said, you might be getting a little bit more moisture from the Youth to the People, but if you want that hydrating essence feel on the skin, if you want a product that is going to give you a little pick-me-up during the day, this Versed Baby Cheeks is amazing. You can see in the bottle they look exactly the same. They both have this milky appearance that's really thin. They're completely pretty much water-like. They get absorbed really quickly into the skin, and what I love about both of these, they don't leave a tacky feel to the skin. They just leave a soothed, hydrated, moisturized feel. So if you want to see save a little money, go for the Verse. This one is great. I love the baby cheeks. All right, now we'll compare two cleansing balms. We'll talk about the Green Clean by Pharmacy and the Milani Green Goddess Makeup Melter. The Milani cleansing balm is a recent find for me. I could not get over how well this performs for the price, and from a makeup brand too. I'm like, this is such an underrated product. How come nobody talks about this? I go on Ulta and I see how highly rated this is. I'm like, okay, I guess it wasn't me that really discovered this. This is definitely a well-loved product, and for good reason. This gets off makeup so easily. It's really lightweight, and I was thinking about when I was using it, I'm like, what does this remind me of? And I happened to stumble upon my beloved Pharmacy Green Clean Balm. I'm like, yep, that's what it is. They perform exactly the same. And now this is one situation where the ingredients are pretty different, but you can find some similarities. Both of their ingredient lists start off with a very similar emollient ingredient that's going to give this product the slip and will give it that makeup removing capability. And then when you go further on down the list, the Pharmacy's has a ton of essential oils. So I mean, okay, in a wash off product, it's going to give your face that oily emulsion that you need to actually rinse off your makeup, and it's going to give a nice scent to the product. You guys know a lot of their products are holy grails for me, but oh, every time I use this product, I'm like, man, this thing works, but I cannot stand the smell of this. So it has a lot of essential oils, so if you want to avoid that, maybe go for something a little more gentle. This does also have fragrance in here, but it does have some calming agents like the cannabis sativa seed oil. Not a lot of proven research-backed information as far as skincare goes, but it's known for its anti-inflammation properties, so it's really going to soothe the skin, and it feels amazing on the skin. The Pharmacy definitely has more of like an oily feel to it, but the Makeup Milani has this interesting, almost like a whipped texture. You eventually get that milky emulsion from both of these, but this is just a little lighter, not as slippery maybe as the Pharmacy, but I feel like they both get off makeup just as easily. So Milani's Green Goddess Makeup Melter I was definitely impressed with. All right, now let's compare Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream to JLo Beauty's Wonder Cream. These are exactly the same in feel. I could not get over when I first tried JLo Beauty's. I immediately thought of Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream. I do like Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream. I think it's highly, though, overrated and overpriced, but it does give your skin that glowy finish. But for that glowy finish, I could add some highlight and get exactly the same result. So I just do not think this is worth the price. But if you're looking for something that has that really thick, moisturizing, hydrating, occlusive feel, this is extremely, extremely heavy. And I do think both of these are only for a specific skin type. I think you have to be more on the mature side and very, very dry. If you're wrinkle prone, I think this is great because this really does smooth out the skin. It has, both of these have this nice smoothing effect on the skin, and it gives that like glowy, youthful result to the skin. They both contain shea butter. A lot of their other ingredients aren't super similar, but it comes down to the feel of these and how they look on the skin. They look exactly the same. They moisturize the same exact way. They both leave this almost like greasy, I always hate to say a residue, but it does leave almost this oily feel on the skin. Very, very heavily moisturizing products here. But I think what makes both of these so popular is the fact that they give this beautiful glowing finish to the skin. They're almost balm-like. You can see they don't drop out of the jar at all. And when you apply them to the skin, they almost have this primer effect. They fill out texture. They really smooth out the skin. And oh man, that scent is potent. That was another reason JLo's immediately reminded me of Charlotte Tilbury's, because it has that same perfumey, sophisticated scent. It's a nice scent, but they both really stick around, so I'm not a huge fan of that. I never got any sensitivities from either of these, and they're synthetic fragrances. There are no essential oils in either of these moisturizers, but just keep that in mind if you're trying to avoid a fragrance. They're both very strong. But look at that gorgeous, healthy sheen they both leave on the skin. Very youthful, very smoothing. I just love that sheen. I think that is why I like both of these so much, but honestly, I don't think I would repurchase either of these. But if you're a huge fan of Charlotte Tilbury, I know this moisturizer gets so much hype around it. This is like a cult favorite product. But if you're looking for something that's almost identical, the JLo Blockbuster Moisturizer is almost half the price. This is $54. You're getting the same amount of product and you're going to get that youthful moisturized glow. I know JLo got a lot of flack for her olive oil use in this product. After my research from that facial oil video, I actually found that oleic acid isn't really that bad, especially if you have drier skin. It can be a nice occlusive agent. There's some studies that showed it may be disruptive to the skin barrier. So if you have inflamed skin or any kind of condition like seborrheic dermatitis where your barrier is compromised, maybe avoid olive oil. But if you have really dry skin and if you're looking for a heavy moisturizer, this is great. I mean, there's squalene in here, there's glycerin. I do think this is nice. It's just not really for me. It's a little too heavy, too greasy. I do have dry skin, but in my T-zone, this can be a little bit too much. But if you're looking for a heavier moisturizer, this is exactly the same as the Charlotte Tilbury in the result. Now let's talk about BHA toners. So when it comes down to an affordable BHA toner, you cannot beat Paula's Choice Exfoliate 2% BHA liquid. This is another hyped up cult favorite product for a reason. This is effective but non-drying on the skin. It really is great for declogging my pores. If I have those white little clogged pores around my nose, I can use this and overnight I see results. This is amazing. So great for clearing up the skin, especially if you have dry skin. A recent discovery is this Bliss Clear Genius Clarifying Toner and Serum. The Bliss does just as good a job at declogging pores as the Paula's Choice does. When comparing an ingredient list, both have salicylic acid in here. The percentage of salicylic is not listed. However, it appears fourth on the ingredient list with both of these. Both have glycols in here, the moisturizing emollient agents. It's going to help counteract that drying effect from the salicylic acid and moisturize the skin. The one difference, the Bliss does have witch hazel. If you're not a fan of witch hazel, you might want to avoid this. I always think witch hazel is pretty calming on my skin. I know a lot of people are anti-witch hazel. And the Bliss actually has a few bonuses. There's Centella asiatic in here. Great antioxidant for soothing the skin, for brightening the skin. Also niacinamide. So you're getting some extra benefits from this one. The Paula's Choice ingredient list is just a little bit more simplified. However, just as effective, just as gentle. They both pretty much perform exactly the same, and with the Bliss you're getting even more benefits. So I like the Bliss. The only big difference for me, I like the application with the Paula's Choice a little better. This is more of like a thin, watery consistency. The Bliss has more of a gel-like consistency. It does absorb quickly into the skin, but the feel of it is just a little different than Paula's Choice. But they both do the job. They work exactly the same, and with the Bliss you're even getting a couple extra benefits. All right, now we'll compare Sunny Riley's Good Genes, which is a lactic acid treatment, with Derma E's Overnight Peel. So you guys know Good Genes is one of my holy grail lactic acid treatments. Love, love, love this so much. You cannot beat those overnight smoothing results. If you're looking for a good anti-aging serum, there is not too many products like this. But when I discovered the Derma E Overnight Peel, I could not get over how smooth this made my skin. This makes my skin baby soft. So let's talk about the differences between the two first. So Good Genes is an AHA treatment. It's strictly lactic acid, and that is the big difference between the two. The Derma E has lactic acid and glycolic. Now lactic and glycolic work essentially the same. They're both AHAs, and they work to break up those bonds in between the dead skin cells on the top layer of our skin to reveal brighter, smoother skin. But glycolic acid is a little bit stronger. The molecule is a little smaller, so it gets deeper into the skin. So lactic is maybe slightly more gentle, and lactic acid can also act as a humectant. So you might think at first glance you're getting a little bit more of a potent serum with the Derma E. Good Genes does, however, have a lower pH. Lower pH is not always better, but it's gonna exfoliate the skin. This is a powerful, powerful serum. But the big negative with Good Genes, it has lemongrass, so I can't always recommend this. I know my sensitive skin friends say that they don't get along with Good Genes and they just avoid it altogether because of the lemongrass. So the Derma E peel is a great option. Now let's look at the ingredient list. In both of these, the lactic acid comes in pretty much in the middle of the list, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You don't always want an active ingredient in like the top couple of ingredients. A higher concentration is not always best when talking about actives, and both of their percentages are not listed. I've read a few sources to say that this is like a 7 to 10% and the Derma E is a 5%. I don't know how reliable that is, but when it comes to strength, the Derma E actually could be a little bit stronger when it comes to exfoliation because your glycolic acid is second on the list. But the Good Genes does have a lower pH. So as far as effectiveness goes, they may even be balanced out to where you're going to get the same results from these. So I feel like Good Genes does give more immediate plumping, smoothing effects. But with the Derma E Overnight Peel, I feel like the next morning my skin feels so smooth, bright. This really does smooth out the skin. You really feel that it's working. The next day you see those visible results. If anything, you feel those visible results. It feels like your skin almost like shed a layer the previous night. However, this is still really gentle and it is pretty moisturizing as well. There's jojoba seed oil in here. The Good Genes does have the squalene, so that you're both getting those moisturizing ingredients with each of these. And with each of these, my skin feels plump, moisturized, bright. I just saw quicker effects with the Good Genes, but I don't know. The Derma E is pretty powerful. You're getting that glycolic in here, but it's still really soothing on the skin and it doesn't feel super harsh. I would say the tingling sensation is pretty identical to both of these, and they both have that same milky serum-like feel. The only negative with the Derma E, you have to wash it off in the morning. So that's just an annoying extra step. There has been days where I've forgotten to wash this off and I haven't gotten any irritation. So obviously make sure you're being vigilant with your SPF the next day. But yeah, the Derma E is great. I was really impressed by this. This was a newer discovery for me as well. Yeah, I'm excited about this. If you want to save some money, you're going to get those same brightening, plump side effects as the Good Genes, maybe just not as quick with the Derma E. And now let's compare the new Yes To Avocado Fragrance Free Daily Cream Cleanser to Paula's Choice Optimal Results Hydrating Creamy Cleanser. I don't have the Paula's Choice. I flew through that stuff. I love that cleanser. But when I first started trying the Yes To Avocado Cleanser, I immediately thought of the Paula's Choice. So the big similarities between the two of these, they both have nice emollients. They both have the caprylic triglyceride and also glycerin. So they're both going to be nice, soothing, hydrating ingredients in these cleansers, and they really do a great job at cleansing the skin, but they never leave your skin feeling stripped, just super hydrated. That Paula's Choice cleanser is one of my favorites. Now, the big difference between the two, the Paula's Choice, it does have those same nice emollient ingredients. With Paula's Choice, you're going to get a couple extra benefits. You have green tea extract in there. It's debated whether or not you're going to get brightening because you're just rinsing it off the skin. But if anything, you might get some extra soothing with that green tea in there. Now, the Paula's Choice does have this nice, almost cooling effect on the skin. I feel like the Paula's Choice, if you want that cleansed feel, the Paula's Choice is going to give it to you. A lot of creamy, I find that with a lot of creamy cleansers, that's very hard to find. They almost leave your skin just feeling like moisturized, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I know a lot of people like that clean feeling after they rinse off their cleanser. The Yes To Avocado does leave almost like this, maybe like a lotion-like feel on your face after rinsing it off. It almost feels like you're using a cold cream when you use this, but it gives your skin that moisturized feel and it's still effective. It breaks down makeup, but it's still super gentle. But the feel of these is exactly the same. They both have this thick, creamy, like lush consistency. They're both so satisfying, and this has avocado oil in here as well, so you're going to get some more moisture from this, and you're going to get that extra makeup removing component to it because it's going to emulsify that makeup as well. So I think they perform almost identical. With the Paula's Choice, you're just going to get more of that cleansed feel, but this Yes To Avocado Cream Cleanser is so good. I'm such a fan of this. I'm really excited about this. Love that it's fragrance free. There's also hyaluronic acid in here as well, but again, you're rinsing it off, so who knows how much that's really doing. But yeah, a great affordable option if you're looking for a good creamy cleanser. All right, and last but not least, I'm leaving this towards the end because I didn't really want to bore you with this because I just talked about this in my facial oil video, but the Bisons 100% Squalene Oil is almost identical to the Ordinary's 100% plant-derived squalene. They're obviously 100% squalene, so they seem to be essentially the same as far as the results go. I do like the Bisons as far as the absorption goes. This absorbs a little better, but when I wake up the next day, the Ordinary's leaves my skin just as soft. Oh my gosh, I could not get over it. I remember one morning I second-guessed myself. I'm like, that was definitely the Bisons I used last night. There's no way this is the Ordinary's. My skin felt so good, just extra soft, extra smooth, so hydrated. This performs almost identical. You're just going to get a quicker absorption with the Bisons. It's hard to find where they source these squalene oils from. As a matter of fact, who knows, they could be from the same supplier. I tried to get Bisons to give me that information, but they did not want to, they weren't giving in. So they did not say who their supplier was, if it was the same supplier as the Ordinary's. But to me, this does feel a little different. It's a little bit more pleasing, but I don't know. When you're talking results, that's the most important thing, right? But I know a lot of people like a really quick absorbing facial oil, and the Bisons is going to give it to you, but the Ordinary's is just amazing. Cannot beat the Ordinary's oils, and they're all cold pressed as well, so that cold pressing technique is going to maintain the purity of the oil. So yeah, I just love the Ordinary's oils. This is a great affordable option. All right guys, that concludes my skincare dupe video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I still have a lot of dupes to talk about. So again, if you want to see more of these dupe videos from me, let me know and I will continue to do them because they are fun, and who doesn't like hearing about affordable options? Especially skincare, right? Skincare can be so expensive. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys have found any good skincare dupes recently. I'd love to hear from you, and thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.